Welcome in all. We will get started here shortly. As always, we want to get to your questions here in the room and on Zoom. But to begin, we're going to start with an opener from head coach Brian Schmetzer. Brian?
Yeah, I don't do openers all that often, but I think this is an appropriate start to the press conference and your questions. You know, Ozzie Alonso was an icon for this club, started in '09. I love Ozzie for a lot of different reasons. Tenacity, his spirit helped us win many, many games. Competitive guy, good captain, did a lot of great things for the club. And he left our club and, went on to more accomplishments. But Steph Fry tonight passed Ozzie for starts. I think Ozzie still has him on appearances, but Steph is now the all-time leader in starts for this club. And a lot of similarities between the two players. Steph is tenacious, such a good professional, top-notch goalkeeper, has done so many good things for this club. I just wanted to start tonight by saying congratulations to Steph, and what an accomplishment. Two icons of the club, Ozzie and Steph, and I couldn't be more prouder for actually both of them, but tonight, Steph, it's your night, so congratulations.
With that, we'll start with questions in the room. The mic will come around as always. Jeremiah?
Yeah, I guess on that note, how badly did you guys want to get that shutout for Steph?
We want to shut out teams all the time at home, and you probably know this already, but I think you told me that we haven't taken a goal at home this year. So that's pretty impressive. We had talked about that, Jeremiah, about bringing, the fortress. I hate that word, but the feeling that teams had last year had come in here and we can steal a point from Seattle or 2 or 3. We're trying to erase that, and so St. Louis was a good test for us because they're a good team. I mean, they started like a house on fire, and they've got some talented players. I like some of their players. But getting that shutout, again, was another good statement that we're going to make sure that teams don't come here and just, find a way to collect points.
Okay, we'll go to Maz next. Mike's coming to you, Maz.
Hey, Brian, is it fair to say you were more goal dangerous in the second half? And if you were, what changed?
Well, we just tweaked a couple things tactically. They started 5-2-3, which normally a lot of teams play 5-3-2. Cincinnati, one of our games where we were frustrated a little bit. And we just wanted Josh and Albert to be a little bit more mobile and play the ball past their front three. And I think that worked in the second half. I think, those little moments where we were able to break that first line of pressure and then turn and go at them, their two holding guys had too much room to cover, and it started our attacking sequences, and we started to feel the momentum, and we got a wonder goal from the kid to start us off, and things kind of steamrolled from there.
We'll go to John and then come around to this side of the room next.
To somewhat follow up about Josh, he gets the start over João Paulo with the injury today. And comes in, has a great game, scores his first goal for the club and the first goal of the game. What do you think on his overall performance tonight?
Yeah, JP was just precautionary. JP could have played today, but it's early in the season. We were just holding him out just because. And Josh took total advantage of that opportunity. I mean, the kid played well. Now, he struggled a little bit in the first half. There were some moments that he and Albert couldn't find the game and couldn't make the game for us. But in the second half, boy, the kids certainly turned it around and had one hell of a half. And I don't usually do what I did for younger players, subbing them off to let the crowd applaud. But I did because of the quality of that goal. That goal should be goal of the week for sure, and that's credit to the kid.
Go to Shane here next.
Along with Josh too, obviously Raul comes through at the 71-minute mark. I mean, what did you see after you subbed him in? I think in the 61st minute, gets the big cheer, and then does that 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I think when Raul came on, again, the questions that I had, the coaching staff had before the game was, Jordan and Leo had some great performances away from home where teams were able to, press us a little bit. There was a lot of space to run in behind. So that was a tactical move by, removing Chu and bringing Leo on the field, removing Chu and bringing Raul on the field. And I think that worked. Raul can play underneath a little bit. It helped us. We had pushed them back a little bit. So, did I want to sub Leo? No, but I just thought the game needed that. And, he rewarded himself and all the hard work and patience that he's had. Will reward himself with a goal.
All right, we'll go to Nico next, and then Owen.
Two good questions. Just first one was bringing in Eber. Did you go to a 4-4-2, or was he playing at the 10? And then the second question was about the defense and their consistency throughout this entire tournament, and specifically in this game.
When you rewatch a tape, I'll ask you on Tuesday what you saw, but no, we did not change into 4-4-2. We still played the same that we wanted to in our build-up. We just inserted Eber, and I loved it, to be quite frank. I loved it. That's an attacking, really good soccer possession group. And then the defending, I credited the guys in there front to back. The defending was good today, front to back. There were some moments in the first half, they got in behind us. They're a good team. Most teams are going to get some chances. But I thought in the second half, you saw the defensive pressure, how we pressed, when we pressed, was really effective.
Back to Owen here, please. And just while we're passing the mic, reminder for those on Zoom, if you do have a question, please go ahead and hit that raise hand function button so we can get to you. Owen, go ahead, please.
Yeah, you already talked a little bit about Cincinnati. What do you think this kind of unexpected switch to the 5 at the back did for your team? How did they take that experience from Cincinnati and bring it into this game?
Well, I don't know if there was anything we could take out of the Cincinnati for this game because it was a little different. Patience, maybe. We had talked about patience, but there again at Cincy, we were away from home. It was interesting that Bradley chose to do that. He elected to do that. That threw us for a little bit of loop. We didn't see that coming. But we talked about it when we saw the lineup, and we gave the guys a few hints, a few different coaching points. But it really didn't gel until the second half when we were able to, I don't know if you guys know this, but, Freddie sits up above with Jorge, our video analyst, and Freddie Juarez gives me the tactical view from up above. And Freddie came downstairs and gave me some ideas and gave the team some ideas, and I think those worked.
All right, I'm seeing a couple on Zoom, so we'll go there next, and Diego, will come to you next when we come back in the room. Jada Evans, please go ahead and ask your question when you're ready.
Thank you. Congratulations on the win, Brian. I wanted to ask a little bit more about Leo and Jordan. It's kind of hard, obviously, to score and have assists in every game, but do you feel that St. Louis broke anything down as far as them not being able to connect tonight, or how do you kind of still view that duo?
It's still a great duo, Jada. They're still tremendous players. Leo, like I said, was more of a tactical change than anything else, and Jordan, he scored that goal late. Yes, it was offside. Albert was a little bit offside, but Jordan's contributions to the game were good, so I'm happy with both of them.
All right, next one we'll go to Charlie Boehm. Charlie, go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Brian. I just wanted to ask about the form of the team and how much stock you put in it right now in the standings. And I don't know if the shadow of last year is still around at all or something to consider, but is the team where you want to be right now, and how do you take this going forward?
I think we're still developing the actual final product, Charlie. I don't think this is the final product. I think there's a ways to go. I think what this group of players gives us as a coaching staff is options. Because look, Jada brought up a good point about, Leo Chu and Jordan Morris away from home when teams, push you back in transition moments. We brought A-Bear on because I've talked openly about trying to get A-Bear and Raul on the field at the same time. We can go back to our standard 4-2-3-1. We're missing JP, one of our most influential players. I mean, we've got a ton of options. That's credit to the strength of the roster. I think, again, A-Bear was a great signing. I think JP coming back helps the club. Leo finding his feet gives me a lot of sleepless nights, but it's a really, really good problem to have.
All right, that's all I'm seeing on Zoom, so we'll come back to the room. Diego, you're up next.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Felicitaciones por el triunfo.
Thank you.
Raúl Ruiz Díaz se reencontró con el gol y eso es bueno para el equipo y para él. Pero no se le notó al anotar el gol una gran alegría como en otros partidos. En la última convocatoria a la selección, a Raúl Ruiz Díaz no le fue bien y un buen sector de la prensa deportiva y de la afición no lo quiere de vuelta, no lo quiere en la selección. Anímicamente, ¿cómo se encuentra Raúl Ruiz Díaz? Gracias.
Okay. Sorry. Congrats on the game today. Today, Raul scored a goal, which is great for him and for his own development. But he didn't really seem that happy when he was celebrating the goal. When he's playing now for the national team, he played this last FIFA date, and he didn't have a good performance on that game that he played for Peru, and there's a lot of press pressure and fan pressure when he's playing against the national team, or for the national team. How do you think is that affecting for Raul's, current sentiment in the team, or his emotions? Yes.
Emotions,
Thank
confidence. Yeah, sure. Look, Raul and I have had multiple conversations about the Sounders. I have no idea what the internal conversations with, his coach in Peru and, how he views that situation. But I can talk certainly about Seattle and Raul. Raul is a team guy. He wants the team to do well. I was very happy for him. If he didn't want to celebrate, at least I was celebrating. Preki was celebrating. The coach's staff was all celebrating that he scored. And certainly as the season progresses, I believe, creo que, that we will see Raul smile, and we will see his determination, and we will see his effort to help this team win.
Con Raúl hemos tenido muchas conversaciones específicamente sobre cómo se siente él con Sounders. Sin embargo, no tengo mucha información, o realmente no tengo mucha idea de cuáles serán las conversaciones que él tendrá con el staff técnico en la selección peruana. Sin embargo, en Seattle está bien. En Seattle tengo conexión con él. Si bien puede ser que él no haya celebrado mucho su gol, yo sí lo celebré mucho, el equipo técnico también lo celebró mucho y el resto del equipo lo ha celebrado mucho, y estoy seguro que durante la temporada su estado de ánimo va a seguir mejorando, va a seguir incrementándose.
Okay, we'll take a few more in here. Yeah, we'll go right this way.
Understandably, there's been a lot of conversation on the competition for minutes in the front four. Josh Atencio's performance, particularly tonight, but over the last few games, seems to be evidence of that same competition for minutes in the midfield. How do you feel like that competition for spots throughout the field has helped drive the team to the performances so far?
I would say that that's one of the many facets of what drives this team. And what I mean by that is, yeah, there's coaches and there's teams around the world that, coaches use, different lineups and different situations to drive the team forward, motivate guys to play. What I would say about a kid like Josh, a kid like Obed, senior players like, Albert and JP, Christian plays in there, I've dropped Nico back in there. They all want to play, but they all understand that the team comes first. And so when Josh is playing well, he's going to continue to get opportunities. It was a, easy decision for us to be conservative with JP. Obed's going to get a shot in there. And, maybe it's Josh, maybe it's Albert, maybe it's someone else. We will rotate through the squad throughout the year. But it's not my decisions that drives that group. It's not me saying to Josh or to Obed or to JP, hey, you better watch out or this kid's going to take your spot. That's not the mantra of that group in there. That group is fully committed to each and every player trying to do whatever they can do to help drive the performance of the team. And I think that's a very, very distinct calling card for this group. They're not trying to prove to me that they deserve to play. They're trying to prove to themselves and their teammates that they can help the group win games. And that's why I'm so positive about this group.
Ari?
Yeah, Coach, thinking about the progression of
Good
Jackson.
to see you, Ari.
Thanks, good to see you too,
Long
Coach.
time no see.
Thinking about Jackson Ragen from when he first got to the club to now, what are the biggest areas you would say you've seen him progress and grow, and what have you just made of how he's come in and kind of established himself as an anchor for this defense,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
rated pretty high?
Yeah. Well, him and Paul Rothrock used to come when they were both college players, and, we'd look at both of them and, I thought Paul was going to be the next president of the United States. Jackson was this big, gangly kid, good size, good frame, good passing. And both of them, but I'll stick to Jackson, have become polished. That's what I'd say. Jackson's path to MLS was a little different than most. He had a full 4 years or maybe even 4.5 at Michigan, I can't remember. Played a year at Defiance. Wade Weber did a great job with him, grooming him. And, you're seeing a kid that's coming into his own with good vision, good passing, good technical ability, can still even, there's areas of improvement in his heading. I think he can do better there. He's such a big body, but he needs to do better in the air. But, he's been a pleasant surprise. I mean, it's not easy to beat out a guy like Javi. Javi's, on the Ecuadorian national team. And Yaimar, I'll throw another name in there, but Yaimar had another monster game. I'm very pleased with the way we're defending. Very pleased.
All right, I want to be mindful of getting to the players because it's getting thin inside the locker room. So, Jada, did you have a follow-up really quick?
Yeah, I did want to ask Brian, you were talking a little bit earlier about the way that the competition is kind of, breaking down or the players are wanting to prove to themselves. So it was a little bit hyperbole that you're having sleepless nights with the decision, or that it's, I think you even told the broadcast that it might be a curse to have so many players that are playing well right now. Are you exaggerating a little bit, or can you expand a little bit more about what's keeping you up at night?
Well, I thought I was pretty clear. I mean, yeah, it keeps me up at night, but the players do it for themselves. That's my point, Jada. Maybe I wasn't clear, but, the players do it for themselves. I, as a coach, my responsibility is putting players on the field, and we have tough decisions to make every week.
Russ gets the last one.
Hey, Coach. Pete Fearing, honored at a halftime today. Just your thoughts on him as a friend, and then obviously the impact he's had on the Seattle community.
Yeah, icon in the soccer community. Lots of accolades, 3-time national champ, our coach of the year, 29 years at Seattle University. But he's an even better human being than he is soccer coach, because he's touched a lot of young men's lives, a lot of people's lives, and I am a massive Pete Fewing fan, and I really thanked Alex and the club for doing right by Pete, who's been, part of our broadcast team for many years. I thought that was a nice touch and well-deserved by Pete.